Hi, I'm Patty.
I'm Kim Michelle.
And I'm Jill. Welcome to our podcast. It's a great day to talk.
Because honestly, what day isn't a great day to talk?
So join us in our conversation.
A Great Day to Talk is brought to you by St. George Design, offering complete website design, social media management, search engine optimization, Google and Facebook ad management, and many other digital and print marketing services. stgeorgedesign.com. And by Richardson Brothers Custom Homes, third-generation builders who have been building custom homes in southern Utah for over 25 years. They will take your dream home from concept to completion. Contact richardsonbrothers.com.
Hello, our fabulous friends, and welcome to episode 19.
Really?
Barely
Wow.
our ages of A Great Day to Talk. I'm Kim Michelle, and I'm here with my great friends, Miss Jill Burkett.
Hello.
And my other great friend, Miss Patty Richardson.
Hello.
And we are coming to you on a Tuesday. So if you're following us live, it is Tuesday instead of our regular live day of Wednesday. So hopefully we'll have maybe some people find us and join us today. Today we're going to be talking about our book, our August Read Now, Talk Later book of the month, which is The Brilliant Life of Eudora Honeysett by Annie Lyons. And I'm so excited to talk about this book. I loved this book so very, very much. I loved the written book. I loved the audio, the talent that reads this book. And I really got an appreciation on this book specifically, that is talent. Because if you listen to a lot of books, which I am not, I still read a lot, just the real words on a page. But as I age, and as there are so many more books that I want to be able to discover, and I can't get through them and move through them as quickly as I would want to. And now that I'm back in the classroom and I have books that I get the opportunity to read as part of my classroom experience, and then also books that I want to be able to read as part of just my life experience. Not that there's not overlap there, of course, but I know that I'm going to get to choose into audibles a little bit more. The more I do that, however, the more I can totally appreciate that your talent that is reading the book can make or break the book for you as much as the written word on the page.
True.
Yeah. So in this particular book, the talent that is reading this book is just phenomenal. And so if you loved reading the book, and you could hear those voices so clearly speaking to you as you were reading the book, then I would encourage you to, and you loved it, which, hello.
How could you not?
Mm-hmm. Then I would encourage you to, jump on the unicorn. I'm just going to paraphrase or steal a little rosy notebook here. And listen to it again on Audible, because I think or however you're listening to your books, I think you'll really enjoy it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So we're going to jump right into the book, and we're going to kind of do a little bit different. A lot of times we just kind of go through the book and we follow the book as it lays itself out chronologically or through the span of the book. And this time we're kind of going to approach some questions about the book and how they unfold in the book, and what maybe we're meant to learn from those questions in the book, and what is the application outside of the book? What is the application?
What does it make us think about?
Yeah, what does it make us think about? And makes us go, just like that.
Well, we have a question on our board. Michelle asking, do you girls prefer audibles or actually turning the pages? And I think we all, well, for me, I usually read the book, but I have been enjoying Audible lately. It's just not been something that I've always done, but I do enjoy Audible. I think I can almost get through a book a little bit quicker because I'm listening more often.
Yeah.
While I'm driving to and from, but
That makes sense, Patty. I was kind of a snob for years.
totally.
And years and
totally.
years.
We've talked about that.
Book
I thought
snob.
Audible, you didn't read it, you listened to it.
Yeah.
Because you're lazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had several experiences listening, and all of them were fantastic readers. And it just adds a depth and another layer to the book. You know, one of them that I listened to was Alicia Keys' Memoir, and she read it. That was fantastic.
I've
And
heard that about that.
Yes. And
I've heard that too.
it's just amazing to me. And like you said, Kim Michelle, it could just as easily go the opposite direction. And sometimes it's really hard to finish one that the reader kind of grinds on your nerves a little bit.
Yeah. And I don't like to speed up the voice always. A little bit maybe, but if the voice is a little irritating, sped up, it's more irritating. Yeah.
Yeah. There are some authors that I do feel like they should heed my advice, and I should send them a little note and say, do yourself a favor and don't read your own book, because you are not doing yourself a favor by reading your own book. And I was even a snob before that, right? So when everybody was reading Kindle, I was like,
Yes.
Oh, right.
Absolutely.
no, I need the book in front of me.
Well,
and the
you're a
smell of
you're a
wafting
purist,
paper
yes.
and
Right?
to turn the page. And I do love that. There is something about that I really do still love. And the truth is also that my eyes are aging as well. And so it is oftentimes at night especially easier for me to read off of a Kindle.
Because you can turn the brightness up.
Yes, and Scott will tease me all the time. He'll say, you're reading your Kindle, which has a light. Do you really need the light on your nightstand as well? And I'll be like, yes, I do.
The ambiance. Thank you very
So
much.
my issue is that I'm not really self-disciplined enough to listen to more on Audible if I'm really attempting to track it, because what I tend to do is multitask. And then when I'm multitasking, I think I'm following. But in truth be told, if you wanted to quiz me on really what just happened in the last 40 minutes of the book, I'm not sure how I would do. I would get the basic concepts, and maybe sometimes that's enough, but sometimes for my students in my class, if I quizzed them like I might be quizzed, they probably wouldn't pass.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One of the things that I do like about it, we drive so much for hockey, drive up to Salt Lake, and I get a lot of listening in.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that. I really, really
Well, and
enjoy
it's
that.
perfect for people who can't read in the car because it makes them sick too.
Yeah.
And just
absolutely.
put your own earbuds in and go.
Yeah.
If
Sit
you're
on
in a car
cruise
with other
control,
people. Yeah.
Get your snacks out.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. This is a really great question, too, because Scott is asking, what is one thing that you would tell someone who hasn't read the book that might result in them choosing to read the book? So as we go through this, if everything we talk about doesn't encourage you to read it, here is probably my one thing, is that I don't usually choose books, and I think I've said this before, where someone doesn't die right off the bat, like in the first,
Get
right
the trauma
chapter,
over.
right.
Or
Well,
begun. Get the trauma started.
Because I love the mystery.
You want the hook, baby.
Yeah. So this is kind of not what I would normally choose. This book brought me so much joy and so much feel good without being so obvious or maudlin about it or anything like that. It just made me happier. It just did. And so that maybe is the one thing I would say. Not that everybody in the world needs to be happier, but I don't think it could hurt. So I think I would just encourage anyone who could use maybe just a little upliftedness in their day, or that this is definitely maybe for you.
Yes.
Definitely maybe for you. That's
Definitely
there's no
maybe.
contradiction in that. That's an absolute right there that you just got from me.
Well,
I just yawned. I'm yawning today, and I don't know. Maybe I'm releasing something.
I think you're releasing something.
I hope so.
I hope it's my weight. I hope that's what you're releasing over there. So
I hope it's my weight. I hope it's some little angst, school angst today. I got a lot of rowdy kids. Last period of the day, right before we got here. Well,
yeah,
a lot of energy, a lot of patience,
and
End of the day.
end of the day
is hard to have a content class.
Yeah.
It is a hard time. Absolutely.
End of the day should be PE for everyone. PE
except the
for all.
teachers,
Well, maybe
unless
so.
that's like going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't go there.
So we decided we wanted to talk about some of the themes in the book more than the
Chronology,
the chronology or summary or plot of the book. So we have some questions. Jill has one to share.
Should we just
do
just
it.
go that way? Okay, so one of the questions that really resonated with me is based on the theme of growing older. And we all know that's a thing that I talk about a lot. Or actually, I think I'm mellowing out a little bit around it, but this is definitely has, Eudora's experience from being a young child on. And the question is, how does growing older change us, and what never changes about us? Has this novel made you think about what is most important to hold on to as we move through life?
I love that question too. And I'm wondering, do we need to just give a
Yeah,
little
I think
synopsis
so.
of the book for any of you that haven't read the book? Tell a little bit
Yeah.
about it. Eudora is our main character, since the book is The Brilliant Life of Eudora Honeysett. She's 85 years old. And
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and she is coming to what she is deciding is the end of her life, and she wants to plan that. She wants to plan the end of her life, just like she's planned so much of the other events in her life. And she isn't depressed. She isn't...
doesn't have a terminal illness.
No, she doesn't have a terminal illness. She just wants to be able to decide the terms of her exit. And so she's contemplating that. She does have some she has some routines in her life that she follows quite regularly, like swimming. And she kind of has a pattern, but she's looking to go to Switzerland in order to have them assist her in the ending of her life. And she's not sad about it. She just really believes that I've lived my life and I want to be able to leave on my terms. And then a family moves in next door to them, and they have a little girl by the name of Rose, and boy, is she a character. So
10 years old.
10 years
Precocious.
old.
Yeah.
I love this description of her. 10-year-old Rose, a whirling pint-sized rainbow of color and sparkling cheer.
Yes.
I think that's a great description
Yeah.
of her.
And unfortunately, probably because of that description, she has been previously bullied, and that's one of the reasons why she has moved with her family. So she's seeking out new friends, and so she seeks out Eudora, and one of the ways she seeks her out is she opens the little mail slot in the door, and she just peeks her little, face in there and just calls out for her new neighbor until her new neighbor finally responds, and that's how they start developing a relationship. And Eudora is, she's pretending. I mean, I think maybe initially she's resistant to it, but she comes around pretty quickly, maybe begrudgingly.
Yes.
But still, she's like, okay, fine. You know, it may be if this is a way to get you to finally go home, then yes, let's go do something. Yes, I'll take you swimming if the agreement is you'll leave me alone for the rest of the day. So they start building a relationship, and then there's some other cast of characters that come along the way, and it begins to open the conversation about, does she still want to go to Switzerland to end her life the way that she wanted to, and then other things develop along that line as well.
Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of the 2-minute version.
The premise, the synopsis.
So how does growing older change us? And what never changes about us? So some of the things about Eudora that don't change are, well, one of the main ones is the keeping of this promise that she made to her father when she was 5, and her father had to go away to fight in World War II.
Yeah. And her father is preparing the bunker and a safe place for the family, and he really wants them to get out of London as the war gets closer and closer. And so Eudora's mother is expecting her little sister, and eventually that happens right
in the bunker.
In the
she
bunker.
gives birth. While
and
there's a
they know, her dad knows the baby's coming, and he turns to Eudora and says, you know, make sure that you take care of your mom and your baby, and make sure that you keep them safe. And then her father does not return from the war, and Eudora, her entire life, believes that that is
Her responsibility.
To her own detriment. So she makes sacrifice after sacrifice after sacrifice in her own life and to her own personal joy in order to fulfill this promise that she's made her father. And I think it's just important for us to be able to appreciate that there's no way that her dad meant for her to, you know, at all costs, to your own happiness and your own success and all the things that could bring you joy. Make sure that you sacrifice all of those things to meet the demands, regardless of how extravagant and unreasonable those demands might be, of your mother, who is the adult in this situation, and of this soon-to-be sister, in order to keep this promise. And yet the words we speak into our children are that powerful. Yeah.
She took that that promise, and again, she was 5 when she made that promise.
5.
And one of the things I think that it talks about her character is that she was steadfast. She was respectful because she took
that maturity, responsibility on at such an early age. She stepped up.
She also experienced things as far as like being able to have friends and a normal childhood. And of course, so many people didn't during the war have a quote unquote normal childhood. And at the same time, because she ended up having to caretake her mother at such a young age, and the roles were reversed, she sacrificed a lot.
Right. And when she did go do something fun, her mom made her take her sister with her, which is fine, but her sister was a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and unfortunately, she happened to have, I hate it when this term is just flung around, but a narcissist for a sister. And as a result, and the sister knew the promise pretty much, and she knew how important it was for Eudora to fulfill that promise. And so she took advantage of it over and over and over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
And said things like, well, of course you'll do that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're going to bring shame to our family
Yes,
or his
exactly.
house. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the second part of this question that says, has this novel made you think about what is most important to hold on to as we move through life? What about you, Patty? What do you think about that?
Well, I definitely think the most important thing to hold on to is, well, it's not resentment.
Yeah.
Aha.
And it's not your own, guilt and shame that for something you did in third grade or high school or anything like that. I think what we need to hold on to are the lessons we learned and through anything, difficult or not. And I like that when you said, how does growing older change us? I think hopefully it changes us to bring us more wisdom. And just like we talked about how what we have said to our kids can be long lasting, I want a do-over, and I want to do it over with more wisdom this time and more patience and love and nothing else. I just want to cuddle them and bring them in and keep them, and I don't want to say something that I didn't know was going to be something they would hear forever in their head.
Here's what's so great, though. You can start the do-over right now.
Oh,
today.
for sure. Oh,
yeah.
for sure. And I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not worried about that, but I do like as we get older,
but that's
we
what
change.
I want everyone out there to know
Yes,
too. If you think that you're beyond that already because your kids are grown or whatever, you can restart that anytime that you want to.
But important to hold on to are the things that we've gained, the lessons we learned through our life, the happy experiences and the sad experiences too. Our relationships, I think relationships that aren't, toxic. I don't know. I don't know what we need to hold on to. I know what I don't need to hold on to.
Well, what would
more.
that be?
Well, yeah, I don't want to hold on to things that aren't mine to be responsible for.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big one for, I think, all of us.
And for you, Dora.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what's another question? What one do you guys have?
Sorry, Mai.
I number 4, we talked a little bit about swimming brings you, Dora, a sense of purpose and sufficient impetus to face another day. Do you have any rituals that bring you purpose? And I like the part, Eudora's, regularly swims and she takes the bus, I think, or does she walk? She doesn't drive.
Initially,
I know that.
she walked.
Okay. And goes to whatever, swims, but then Rose comes and says, do you want to go swimming with me? And Eudora was like, oh, I like my alone time, my alone swim time. But she does anyway. And it turned out good. And then there was a little hiccup at the end of that. But do you have any rituals that bring you purpose?
Well, I've got one that I've started.
Yes, let's hear
It's new.
Okay.
It's new. Okay, so I'm going to preface it with it's new, and I hope that I'm going to do my best to keep maintaining it. But I have been getting up early in the morning and getting ready, getting done, and then taking my breakfast out to the backyard to over by the fire pit in the rocking chair and listen to the birds and eat my breakfast and hear all of the sounds. It's not just the birds, but the morning sounds in the backyard.
Yeah.
And then after I've done that, I do a meditation. I've been doing a meditation, and I have gotten to where I so look forward to that. And I keep thinking, oh, it just sets the tone for my day. And it's like, I don't know that it really sets the tone for my day, but it sure has brought me a lot of joy in the fact that I want to get up and I want to get out in my backyard and sit there.
Is it hard to leave your backyard?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard. It's so hard. Yes.
Yeah, I wonder if that would be counterproductive for me.
Patty's not here. We're gonna have to. We can find
Does
her.
anybody know where
Find
Mrs.
her in the
Richardson
vortex.
is?
Yeah, in the vortex.
find
My,
her in the
my
vortex.
backyard's called the vortex, and once you sit out there, it's hard to get up and leave. Are you listening to a meditation? Are you
Yes.
reading one, or
Nope, I am listening. Wait a minute, that would be a really good idea to add to it. So I have the Daily Om book, and if any of you have not heard that or looked at that, that's a fantastic book. It has a short, little short snippet around a different topic each day, and you just read it, and I love that. I should add that in there too. But I listen to Headspace. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Headspace.
yep,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have like over 10,000 minutes on it.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Is that
That's
crazy?
really great.
Yeah. So I have been doing that, and I love it. And you can set the time. So there's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And depending on how quickly I get out there, I try to get out there so that I can do 15. And it is really like this whole idea of where's the question? Swimming brings you, Dora, a sense of purpose and sufficient impetus to face another day. I think that must be what it is impetus to face another day.
Yeah.
And not because of anything negative or anything like that, but we know how crazy busy all of our lives are. And I'm like, I don't want to say I'm tired of being so busy, because I don't want to say jinx, but I don't want anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
want
for
that
sure.
to have an effect, but I love it so much. And
That's so great.
and I'm a little weirded out about what the change in the weather's going to do to me.
Oh, I don't think I wouldn't even be thinking about that. I wouldn't be putting yourself off into the future. I would just stay grounded in the now and enjoy it, all this
long as I can.
beautifulness right now, and then deal with that when that's your now.
Yeah. Because it's delightful.
Yeah.
I love that you are doing some sensory grounding at the beginning.
Yes.
For anybody that struggles with any type of anxiety, or if you're feeling angst before something, you can take your shoes off, walk in the grass.
And I do that.
Yep. Listen. What do you see? What do you hear? Just think of, do some sensory grounding, and it kind of just takes your angst into a logic, and so it removes that emotion out of it, and then you're prepared for your meditation.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
She and Eudora, with her swimming, she talks about how she can just be in another place. And it's not that she checks out and goes away, but all the cares and all the worries and everything just disappears for her when she's in the pool doing her laps.
Yeah. I have about 20,000 minutes on Headspace, because I just turn it on and leave it on.
Right.
So, but I don't think that's the same.
I do that with my Apple Watch. I tie it to my dog and make him run around, and so people think I worked out.
And Headspace is great because it, especially if you're not really an expert in the idea of meditation, because they make it so easy and it's so non-threatening, and it's always about wherever you are is exactly okay in the process, right? I mean, it really is.
Well, I think
amazing.
meditation, it's called practice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it takes practice to meditate and stay focused, because I would get off task, I'm sure.
Well, and that's the great thing about it, because on Headspace, listen to us, we're like now going to be the commercial for Headspace. And by the way,
You're welcome.
hopefully our new
Our next
sponsor is
sponsor.
Headspace. By the way, teachers, they give you a free account for teachers.
Oh,
So,
wow. I didn't know that. That's really great.
You sign up with your teacher email, and it's free. So
I think I did. I think I do have it on my phone. I just haven't done
I
it
like
yet.
that. Yes.
It's so great, too, because they talk about that's part of the issue with, for me, around meditation, is because for me, I don't like to be wrong. Scott, I know that's shocking news to you, but so when you're doing it and like, oh, I'm out of focus, I need to. The thing that's so nice about Headspace is that they don't make it wrong wherever you are. They'll just be like, and bring your mind back into focus.
Yeah, they just
right
back to breathing, and they call it. You just check that you're, you note that you're thinking. I'm thinking, and then you go back. But it's great because if you're not into meditation, it has guided meditation, so it helps you through. So Patty helps with that situation for you getting distracted, which I do too. I get better at it with practice. And then there is meditation without, and I love the little series that they do because they'll do like a 10-day series around a certain concept. And so anyway, that I connected a lot with Eudora around that.
And I love that she has her ritual, but I also loved that Rose was able to take her totally out of the ritual and the routine and what was comfortable for her. Like on the shopping trip to get Eudora something different to wear.
To the part, Stanley's kid's birthday.
And Stanley is a plutonic friend and has had a loss of his own.
Right.
But they're Eudora and Stanley's general outlook on life is really completely different, even though Stanley has recently lost his wife of years and years and years and is going through that loss. He still appears to be pretty upbeat until that moment when he isn't. And then who is there for Stanley?
It's Eudora.
Eudora and Rose are there for Stanley in that moment when he is struggling. But when they go to the store, that's one of my favorite scenes in the book because, you know, Rose is so in her element and Eudora is so not in her element. And it's the first time you really see, I mean, there's been little signs of it, but it's the first time you really see Eudora select items specifically because it means something to Rose. Yeah. And I just thought that is so beautiful. And then it looks lovely on her. Rose was right. It looks lovely on her, but she would have never chosen those things for herself.
What did she say when she opened her closet and everything was brown? But she said she described it some way, and I wish I could remember right now because that was funny how she described her own clothes. Being drab.
Very sad.
Colorless.
Very sad. Well, you know, Rose's outlook on life and her philosophy, and she says this in the book. She has a shirt that says this. It says, be more unicorn. And she really brings Be More Unicorn into Eudora's life.
And resistance is futile. I mean, it just, which is, you cannot, resistance to Rose in this book, I think, is just, even when you're first introduced, if you're someone who's like, I know where this is going and I am not going to let myself go there because I'm smarter than this book and I'm not going to let you take me there because I'm going to be, you know, I'm going to be the ornery one in this moment. If you really stay with the book, I don't know how you can't not go there.
And adore her.
Adore her. And her little
and her tenacity,
outrageous clothes. And
Well, you guys, there's one more question that I want to hit before too much longer. This question says, is it ever too late to find forgiveness? Is it possible to have a new beginning, or do we always carry our pasts with us? And I connect to this one as well because, I mean, as you know, the decade of my 20s was a roller coaster. And carrying what I experienced during that time, and the element of forgiveness for events and people that were involved in my life at that time,
and recent,
and recent, and very recent, right? And so the whole idea of, do we always carry our pasts with us? For me, I carry it, but I don't hold it, if that makes any sense.
You know it happened, but you're not harboring this resentment.
No, because I wouldn't be who and where I am now had I not experienced that. So while it's not at the forefront, I think it has become part of my makeup, my DNA, and it's shaped me in my experiences. It does affect how I treat others, not in a negative sort of way. It's once you've experienced certain things, you know that that's not something you're ever going to do or project on someone else. You know what I mean? It gives you
Well, and it gives you empathy for others who've experienced similar experiences, similar things that are hard.
Yeah.
Like, you're very, very empathetic, caring person.
Yeah.
So
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it says, the question is it possible to have a new beginning, or do we always carry our past with us? And I think
I don't
you
know
can
that that's
do both.
Yeah,
can't
I
you?
don't know that is necessarily.
Or
Yeah, yeah,
because to me, it's all about a new beginning. Once you've experienced something that's painful, and the new beginning, I mean, you're in a new beginning space too. You are new after that experience. And I think that, and I feel like that they are connected. Those two are connected because my experiences have put me where I am and made me believe and feel and do the things I do.
Well, every time we do anything, an experience, learn something, I mean, our brain changes. It's changing to learn. And so every day is really a new beginning because we're addressing that day with a little bit different neurology.
Right.
yeah.
We've learned that.
And I think
talks
if you
about that.
can, if you can clear off of the energy of the event or
Right.
the experience and learn what you were meant to learn from the event or the experience, then that's when forward movement can happen, where you're not holding on to all of the energy of it, but you can take with you what is it I meant to learn from it. Then that's a pretty good space to be in.
Right. And for Eudora's experience, she had a huge experience that she had to, at some point, not only forgive her sister and Eudora's fiance, who then cheated on her with her sister.
Yeah.
And they ran off. And Eudora had to find a place to, at some point, forgive both of them and to forgive herself.
Yeah, I think that's therein lies the real question. Are we talking about our ability to forgive others, or are we really talking about our ability to forgive ourselves, or both? Because I think Eudora gets into the space where she can forgive her sister. I don't know if she gets to the point where she can forgive herself, because this instance, though, is the one time where she didn't hold the promise that she made to her father. And then there's a devastating consequence to that, which she is not responsible for. But I think that she continues to hold herself responsible for that and is unable to forgive herself. And I think that's why she denied herself relationships for so long in her life. That is the penance she was willing to pay for not holding that promise and the consequence that happened as a result of that, until Rose breaks through there at some level. And at the end of the book, I think, is when you see things have changed now at the end of the book. But she could have still made the decision that she was committed to make previously. And she makes a different choice now. And I think she is only able to make that choice now and be with the people that she has now really, truly formed loving relationships with, because she is at least in the healing process of self-forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a time to do that.
Yeah. What a time.
To wait, to have that experience at the very end.
Well, better
Late than never.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
And
what did she miss in her life
all the way
because
along
of her
that.
unwillingness to do that? Yeah.
I loved how she ended up telling her life story to Rose. And she didn't hold anything back.
She
And
didn't.
it's the first time she'd ever shared the whole story with anyone.
Yeah.
Well, and Rose is surprisingly mature too. Like
Totally.
she asks Eudora questions that are pretty deep for a 10-year-old.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
that's
are
what
you
happens
afraid of dying?
when you're 10 and you're the only child
Yeah,
and you've
true.
grown up with adults.
Yep.
Yeah. But very, inquisitive
Kiddo.
questions for a 10-year-old. Yeah.
I want to just say one last thing to Jill's question from the beginning. She asked, how does growing older change us? What doesn't change? And I was thinking, I think we become more appreciative of things, experiences as we age. I know that I'm so about having experiences because you can't take anything else with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I love that. And the other part of that was what never changes about us. I kind of think hopefully my sense of humor wouldn't change, or my curiosity, or my
Your looks will never change.
my
Ever.
looks.
Your looks will always remain hot.
Oh, well,
and
wow.
amazing. That'll never change.
Never.
It's
Never change.
it is changing and changing and changing. There's
not.
just so much
Stop.
maintenance. So much maintenance. But anyway, I think all of us too, like you guys, things that aren't going to change about you, or you're going to never stop wanting to learn more.
Right.
Right. That's yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think we have to do that. We have to be, even if we're like too tired, but we need to figure something out. We need to want to know more, or keep moving, and our brain as well as our body.
yeah.
Are
Well,
you-
and we'll always be talking. I mean, that's
Well, and talking about real things, you know,
The hard stuff.
the hard stuff, which we haven't talked about the hard stuff for a while. The three
Well,
of us.
Yeah.
We need to go to dinner.
yeah. And we're going to talk more of that in our next book for next
Yes.
month.
Yeah.
So do you want to introduce it?
Yeah. So should we just say thank you, Eudora, for
Yes,
this great piece?
for enlightening us
you.
and being a part of our life. And if you didn't catch it, we really encourage you to grab it. It really is just delightful, and it'll be like a part of your family. It really will. Yeah,
I think I'd like her as a grandma
for sure.
Right.
or even a friend.
Yeah.
Okay, and so our book for next month is hard, and it is called American Dirt. This book is by Janine Cummins. It was actually in the Oprah Book Club a while ago. This came out in 2018.
Yeah.
And the topic is very hard. This topic is very hard
And very relevant.
very relevant.
Still, it was
in
relevant then, and it's
still
relevant
relevant.
Very
still
concerning.
now.
Very concerning, and it's got quite a bit of violence in it. That's all realistic. It's all real stuff.
Yeah.
So if you would like to read that along with us, and we will definitely have that for next month.
Yep.
Again, American Dirt, and we'd love to have you read with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit of a shift for us, and it's one of the things that we also wanted to do. We wanted to bring light, and we wanted to bring laughter, and we also wanted to bring conversation and discourse about real things that really matter. And in the world out there, real things that really matter is an important thing for us to be talking about too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Blue Bowl?
Blue Bowl.
Blue Bowl. Blue Bowl.
All right.
Okay.
What am I looking forward to? I am looking forward to this weekend because I am planning on going up north to see my girls.
Yay, fun.
but mostly Owen.
Let's be honest.
To be honest, mostly the grandbaby.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
I hear that's how it goes.
It does.
So,
Miss Jill?
what is my biggest accomplishment of the week?
Well, it's only Tuesday, so let's
It's
say
only
in the last week.
Tuesday. Well, maybe it is that I am slowly but surely getting some cabinets painted that I've been meaning to do for a long time.
Oh,
And I need to get them
that's good.
finished.
that is a chore.
Do you need help?
I just need someone to do them.
Oh, we don't.
to do them.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
out on.
Sorry.
But that's a big accomplishment, and it'll be even bigger when I get it done this week. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Kim Michelle.
So what made me smile? So there's lots of things in the last week, but I would say that one of the things that I'm going to treasure the most is actually going to happen on Friday. So Scott and I have made a date to go to the high school football game.
Oh,
It's going to be the
fun.
first home game. And
Circle back
it's
for life.
it's been a long time since we've gone over. We used to all the time when I was teaching before, because I have a lot of players that are football players that are in my senior English class, and so we made a special little date to go to this Friday's game, and I'm
That's
really
awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's going to be
Friday night
especially
lights.
fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
You guys
I
have
miss.
a good time.
I used to go to football games for years and years and years, and I don't go as often anymore.
Well, you're welcome to come along with
and
us.
I kind of miss it.
She's going to have baby Owen.
I'm gonna be up north.
Yeah.
Well, good. You guys have fun. Let us know.
That'll
how
Oh,
it goes.
we will. Oh,
Yep.
totally. We
Okay.
will, for sure.
Hey, thanks everybody for
Okay,
joining us
thank
today.
you. Have a great week.
Have
See you
a
later.
fantastic one. See you.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening to It's a Great Day to Talk.
Be sure to follow and subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform.
And until next week,
Get out there and talk.
This has been a production from a podcast studio.